Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be making a pin-on corsage using fresh gladiolas. So the video that came out before this one, I did a presentation style bouquet with gladiolas or glads. Um, I often overlook this flower. It is actually a really beautiful flower and it is a wonderful flower for uh, late summer. They come in all different colors: oranges, yellows, reds, pinks, whites, of course. Um, and you can get blooms all the way up the stem. I guess personally, I kind of have used glads in arrangements for funerals generally. So I don't often think of it as a wedding flower or a celebration flower, although, funerals are celebration of life. Um, but you can definitely do different type of arrangements with gladiolas. So I'm going to be doing a pin-on corsage, and I'm using some artificial foliage here um, so that I can have a nice solid backing. The actual flowers are very delicate, um, so they do tend to crumple easily, kind of like an Alstroemeria would, or even like a lily. So I feel like having some artificial foliage to back it up will kind of help support the little florets of the gladiolas. So you can use the greenery, you can use the little seeds at the end, or the very ends of the glads there. You can use the flowers, you can use the buds, you can use the whole stem if you wanted, in various different ways. So I'm going to divide the little florets, and I'm going to use some of the foliage of the gladiola to make a beautiful pin-on corsage. So with the artificial greenery, these are leftover rose greeneries from silk roses. So I want to elongate that stem so it's easier to work with and manipulate. So I'd made a hairpin out of some wire there, and then I'm just covering the wire with some wax floral tape. And with that hairpin, I grab a hold of the stem of the artificial foliage. I just need something to hang on to and kind of be able to bend a little bit. I am going to add a little bit of this hanging, I'm not quite sure what kind of flower it is, or greenery it is, but it's got kind of a dusty Miller color to it. Um, it's almost kind of like a Spanish moss type of feel to it. So I'm just cleaning up part of the stem so that I have something to hang on to. It's going to kind of flop down, so I'm not too concerned about making sure that it goes in the direction I want it to. And now I'm just going to trim out the little flower piece that I want. So the stem itself is very, I want to say meaty. It's very thick and sturdy. You don't want to get too close to the flower to where it's going to break off and be kind of hard to wire. But with that little bit of a thicker base to it, I can just pierce it with the wire, bend it down, and then use my wax floral tape to cover the wire there. Make sure it's got a good hold. It's not going to fall out. And I'm going to use another larger little floret there. And gladiolas are just, they really are versatile, because once I isolate this, you can't even tell it's a glad. It almost just looks like a tropical flower of some sort. When arranging wedding bouquets, if you use a fresh oasis cage or oasis bouquet holder with the wet oasis in there, you can cut the gladiolas down to these pieces and then insert them into the arrangement too, and they look very beautiful in a fresh bridal bouquet in a bouquet holder. So it has these spiky leaves that are really fun to work with. You could possibly braid them. You could cut them into thinner strips. You could make a bow out of them. I'm just going to do a loop with a little point at the end. I just gather all the leaves into one thick bundle there, and then I'm going to pierce all of the leaves that fold over each other just give it a little bit of a bend and then wire it or cover it with a wax floral tape. And there'll be a link in the descriptions for wax floral tape and wire and stuff that you can use when arranging the flowers. And then once I have all my pieces wired and covered with the tape there, I'm going to go ahead and assemble them. And I'll start with the silk greenery, and I'll have some of the leaves as the backing too. Again, just building up that base, trying to make it a nice protective layer on there. And earlier when I started the video, I had done a little bow for the corsage and already wired that. Just 3 loops on either side. And of course I want the bigger flower that's more open to be my focal because it's so big and beautiful. So I have it nice and low right at the base there. Just fill in with some of the greenery, and it really looks like a actual tropical arrangement. It's actually kind of cool. So usually I gather everything and then I will use my ribbon to give it kind of like a big bear hug by wrapping the wire around the whole corsage itself to help hold it. However, it was a bit thicker for me to hold on to, so I'm just going to take what I can and use my wax floral tape, and then I'll put in the rest. And as you can see, I just take that bow there and wrap it right around the corsage, give it a good twist at the end there. And then you want to cover everything real good with the wax floral tape, and that tape will hold it nice and tight for you. It'll keep it looking neat, and it'll keep wires from poking at you too. Sometimes if I don't have everything wired, and I do use like just the stems of the artificial greenery itself, they'll have like a bit of a bump to them. And I just try to make a nice kind of tapered line towards the end of the corsage there. Sometimes if that bump is in there, it kind of looks a little funky, and it's a little harder to handle and wrap. So as you can see, I did a little trimming there. And I like to count about 4 fingers down from the base of the corsage. You can go a little bit less if you want, a little bit more. And it's up to you if you want to give it a little turn at the end. You can give it a little curly cue by taking a pen or a pencil. I could not find one, so I tried a glue stick. That did not work. It gave it a little bit of a curl, but I really need something more stable. I just couldn't find it to give it a nice curl at the end there. But then once you're all set, you can just put some pins in there, and you'll have a pin at the bottom, pin in the middle, and there you go. You got a beautiful corsage using gladiola blossoms. Thank you so much for watching.